Broadcasting from the basement bunker. Welcome to the fourth hour with Greg Belfrage. All right, and forgive me, we may run a little bit short today. I am, to be candid, I'm just feeling a little bit off here this morning. So if I cut it a little bit short, forgive me. There are stories to share. Let's start with what's going on at X. This is the rapid response account of the Trump White House, and they are sharing a lot of information. A lot of it's coming from Elon Musk in the interview with Brett Baer. So we'll talk about that shortly. The president saying Washington must become clean and safe. We need our police back on the street. No excuses from the mayor or anyone else. This is just common sense. So much of this stuff. We've got to get it done immediately. We need to clean up our once beautiful capital city and make it beautiful again. We will be tough on crime like never before. This, I think you're going to find very, very interesting. Let's pause this for a moment and we'll pick it up. This is Carolyn Levitt. This was an interview that Bradley Devlin did with Carolyn Levitt. And take a listen to what she is talking about here with President Trump.
He's spoken publicly about it, how many people told him that I was too young to have this position. And he told me, you're not. When I was 21, I was building buildings in Manhattan, and I believe you can have this job. So the president believes in the young people of this country, the future generations, the next generation of leaders, and he wants to leave the country better off for us and for our children and our grandchildren.
Yeah, what an incredible, what she's saying there. The president looking at Carolyn Levitt, because she's the youngest press secretary we've seen, 26 or 7. She's right around there, 27, I believe. Carolyn Levitt is 27 years old. And the president telling her, no, when I was 21, here's what I was doing. You are good enough to do this. And she is. I mentioned on the radio show a number of times, I think she's absolutely incredible. Let's go back to what they're sharing. This coming from the Elon Musk Brett Baer interview last night. Get a load of this. 27 different centers at the National Institutes of Health, with 27 different CIOs overseeing 700 plus different software systems, none of which communicate with each other. Wow. Take a listen to this. Forgive me, I've got to restart these videos here. I want you to be able to pick it up from the beginning. Here we go.
Well, I'd say there's a couple of things we're really committed to in our work at HHS. Number one, making sure we continue to have the best biomedical research in the world. And number two, making sure, which President Trump has said over and over again, that we 100% protect Medicare and Medicaid. But there's a lot of opportunity. So if I take NIH as an example, today, if you're an NIH researcher and you get a $100 grant at your university, today, you get to spend 60 of that, and your university spends 40 of that.
Wow.
The policy that we're proposing to make is that you get to spend 85 of that, and your university spends 15. So that's more money going directly to the scientists who are discovering new cures. Another example is today they have 27 different centers. They got created over time by Congress, and they're typically by disease state or body system. There's 700 different IT systems today at NIH.
700 different IT systems.
IT software systems. They can't speak to each other.
So they don't talk to one another.
They have 27 different CIOs. And so when you think about making great medical discoveries, you have to connect the data.
Time out. You said 27 different.
Now, was that Brett Baer who laughed? Because there was laughter in there. And I wonder if Brett Baer in disbelief as to what he's hearing.
Chief information officers?
Correct.
And most of them are non-technical.
So there's a lot there.
There's a
no,
lot
I don't think it was
Brett.
Brett.
Make science better, not worse.
And
it will make science better, not worse. I think a lot of this, what we're seeing, again, you get, and we talked about this on the radio show this morning. You get people, they're all up in arms and they're reacting. And I'm even seeing some emails to this regard. And it's like, whoa. Slow down. Let's slow down. Let's wait. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Let's wait and see. Americans can't do this because everything, it's got to be right now. They want to, I'm just, I don't know. I'm a fairly impatient person, but I get it. Let's kind of wait and see. Oh, Tim Walz, I think let's pass by that. Peter Navarro is somebody that I greatly respect. And he is talking about what's going on right now with trade. And I thought you might appreciate this because he's talking about the economy. And this clip is a little bit longer than I want to share. It's like a little less than 2 minutes long. But let's get into this because Peter Navarro, I think, is making some really great points here.
I also want to address consumers as well, because there's going to be a lot of talk about how consumers are going to be hit hard. But you got to remember a couple of things. One of the big promises on the campaign
talking about the
which
tariffs
President Trump will fulfill is a major tax benefit for Americans who buy American-made cars.
Right.
And if you look at what we were giving away for the EVs, that's like $7,000 per car as much. And then if you look at the gas prices,
first of all, can you imagine that $7,000 to buy an EV that the U.S. government was giving away?
Averaged $1 less per gallon during the first Trump administration than Biden did during his 4 years. $1. What's that? That's about $1,000 we save for consumers when we get that back down through drill, baby, drill. So there's just a lot of moving parts. And whenever you look at what President Trump's doing, you got to look at the totality of the policy.
This is important.
And what we're trying to do is raise wages. And by the way, I was listening to your last guest, and it's just like this notion that somehow tariffs are going to hurt productivity. It's just ridiculous and defies historical experience. What happens when President Trump does tariffs? We get trillions of dollars of new investment into this country. When you add more machines and capital to the worker base, that makes productivity fly. And that's the key to keeping down inflation and keeping real wages up. And remember, during Biden's administration, real wages plummeted. During Trump's administration, we were very proud of this. Real wages for the deplorables of this country, the middle class and the blue-collar workers, they went up. So
the deplorables, of course, that was Hillary Clinton who said that.
Big picture.
Hey, with that said, that's Peter Navarro. I have so much respect for him. He's just one of the nicest guys. He's been on the program a couple of times. Okay, let's see what they're sharing the entirety here of the Brett Baer interview. Again, it's about 30 minutes long. I've not had a chance to watch it all yet. I watched some portions of it this morning, and it's pretty clear. And you're seeing this, and this is what was being talked about in the cut that I shared previously about Health and Human Services. They're sending out the message: less power to administrators, more power to scientists and doctors. So are Americans going to benefit if you have scientists and doctors receiving more money and administrators receiving less money? A lot of us believe then that Americans are going to benefit as a result of that. And I think that's about it that I wanted to share some of this. This is let's join this because this is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here. Let's see what he's saying. You know, he's saying we're not going to cut services.
We're not going to cut services. We're not going to cut Medicaid. We're not going to cut Medicare. We're going to continue. We're going to provide services, but more efficiently. We have, thanks to Elon, and by the way, what Elon did with our agency is going to help our agency. So I'm very grateful to him he came in for the first time with a real org chart for the agency. The agency org chart when I arrived was incomprehensible. There was no chain of command. There were people operating in all these different silos and fiefdoms. And they were so territorial and so self-serving.
Can you imagine this?
That they were selling patient information.
If you ran your company that way, could you succeed?
To each other. So I tried to get the CMS patient information, which belongs to the American people and belongs to HHS. And the sub-agencies said we have to buy it from them. And it doesn't make any sense. There are sub-agencies that refuse to give us patient data. This is depersonalized data. And we need to make America healthy again. What Elon is doing is he's using AI
This is amazing.
to improve health, to improve efficiency, to improve delivery. And he had a bunch of.
So let's end that there, because I think you get the idea. As bad as you thought things were, no, guess what? They're even worse. As as bad as you thought it may have been, it turns out it's no. It's worse. Also, there was Elon Musk. Forgive me. I don't want to do that. Oh, some days it's just a battle. End of the week. It's like I am so running out of steam. So Elon Musk, during this interview, saying that they're trying to keep Congress as informed as possible. And Brett Baer asked, the process still involves Congress, right? At some level. And so Elon Musk saying we're trying to keep Congress as informed as possible, but the law does say that money needs to be spent correctly. It should not be spent fraudulently or wastefully. It's not contrary to Congress to avoid waste and fraud. It is consistent with the law and consistent with Congress. And we've seen actually great support, at least from the Republican side of the House, and occasionally some Democrats too. And let's give Democrats, I'm going to interject here, let's give Democrats credit. Democrats on the House side who are, concerned about wasteful spending. Let's give them some credit. I think it's going to require politicians of all stripes to be concerned about what's going on. And so Elon Musk says, usually when they attack Doge, they never attack any of the specifics. So they'll say what we're doing is somehow unconstitutional or illegal or whatever. We're like, well, which line of the cost savings do you disagree with? And they can't point to any. And we list them all on Doge.gov and then and at the Doge on X. And he said, and you'll see just outrageous things, one outrageous thing after another. Yeah, it's pretty incredible, I think, what they are what they're pointing out. Also, there's some nonsense going on with Tesla. We're seeing it again. A vandal under investigation after appearing to drag a key across a Tesla Cybertruck. This one happening in New Hampshire. And they had this story had a photo of it originally. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. And it's clear. I mean, let's see if we can skip the ad here. No, different story. Fox News does that a lot. But this guy is dragging his key, and you see it. And the owner of the Tesla Cybertruck is saying, vehicle wasn't even parked there 30 minutes. Happened within 30 minutes. And so police now getting a warrant for the person that had believed to have done this. And you see it. Is the guy walking right alongside the vehicle. He, got a key from his pocket, dragging it right alongside the vehicle. We've seen this time and time again. So when police arrived, officer can be heard saying, you want to talk about what happened here? He said, no, I don't know what happened. And they said they had him on video. I don't know what happened. He said, no, he knew. He absolutely knew. Dragging a key across a Tesla vehicle. Steve is right here. Funny to me how many of these people still don't know that Teslas have more cameras than a press conference. Edgy saying these Tesla terrorists are the definition of idiots. They're too stupid to realize they're being recorded. Then they deny they did it, or they act like they don't know what happened. Yeah, absolutely. That doesn't last long. They wind up getting caught in pretty short order. Also, I had this story. This story was trending this morning, and I touched on it very briefly. Got the Prime Minister of Canada who's vowing to retaliate against these new auto tariffs. And so also saying he called this a direct attack on Canada's economy and pledged retaliation. And he said the U.S. is no longer a reliable partner. No, what he means is the U.S. is no longer a partner that will do whatever Canada wants. It'll bend over backwards to accommodate Canada. And the fact that we are looking at these things, looking at these relationships with other countries in a new way, I am in no way bothered by that. What we see the Trump administration doing, I believe, is looking at everything in a new light. Our relationships with other countries and the way the other countries have treated the United States. And I think as you listen to Donald Trump, one of the things he has talked about is that these countries have been treating America very badly. And they have been taking advantage of America. It's been happening in Europe, where they expect the United States to pay for their defense. And President Trump has said, no, you have got to start paying for more of your own defense. Why should America be spending this kind of money in defense of your countries? He's asking that across the board. It's the same way when it comes to trading and our relationships then with these other countries and these tariffs. And why should America be subsidizing businesses in their countries rather than subsidizing businesses in our own country? And that's what, with the cut that I shared with you earlier, that's what we see the Trump administration doing. And I think it's worthwhile to remind everyone, a little patience is needed here. Americans have got, and we're not a patient people, admittedly, including myself. I mean, we're just not a patient people. We want everything. And this is what has been bred in Americans for a long time. You want service, you want it quickly, you want it now, boom, 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 boom. You expect to see things. Well, you can destroy things fairly quickly. Rebuilding them takes a little bit of time. If you want to rebuild things correctly, it takes a little bit of time. It's not done immediately. And I think we have got to be patient. And I don't think it'll be all of that long that we're going to be sharing more good news in regards to what's happening with the economy. And I think you're seeing it already with the number of industries, talked about Hyundai earlier this week. And I shared the audio with you, Hyundai building a plant in the United States and talking about it and excited about their partnership with the United States and what they're doing. I think we are going to hear a lot more of those stories. Now, the media is not going to be out there with a bugle, and, plastering them on the front page. But we're seeing those things happen. And it's one of the reasons why I want to make sure that you see them. When those good things are happening, that you're aware of them. Hey, good things are actually going on. The media, it's the gloom and doom of the legacy media is just, man, overwhelming. And so I want you to remain positive. I think that there are good things that are on the way and that we'll be talking about them soon. And if not, I mean, I'm keeping an eye on the economy. And I certainly, as I'm going, I go to the grocery store too. I'm at the gas pumps too. And I'm paying attention to what's going on there. And I think there are brighter days ahead for you and me with the strategies that Donald Trump and his team are implementing. Let's leave it there. That's a wrap from the bunker for today. I want to say thanks if you're here at this point in the video. You're part of my gallery of champions, and I want to say a big thank you. Wish you a great weekend. Ask you to hit the like button if you would before you leave. And so at this point, I'm underground and I'm gone.